Hey there, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have a message for you, one that I've been thinking about a lot recently with different things coming to ends in terms of, well, ultimately some lives that I know and just really people, kind of struggling with creating happiness and joy in their lives. And I think that when we have people that we lose in our lives, it is a time that forces us to kind of reflect and see what even makes life matter. And that's why I wanted to deliver this message to you guys, which is ultimately that the quality of your life directly correlates with the level of meaning that you're generating in each and every moment. And I know we can kind of like, oh yeah, I know this, I've heard this before or whatever, but I want us to stop for a moment and I want us to honestly think about each and every day equates to your entire life. And what scares me beyond measure is always thinking about, imagine living a life filled with regrets, filled with regrets that I get to the end of my life and I am just, astonished by all the moments that I missed, all the time that I got caught up in the wrong stuff that didn't even mean anything. And I didn't create meaning and depth in my relationships and in my, my legacy, and I think that we all need to think about it from this perspective, which is how much meaning are you creating in your everyday life? And it's absolutely up to you as to generating that meaning. So all meaning is created in the mind. Everything is our perception. Our entire experience of life is based on our perception of what's going on. It's the meanings that we create, and it's the meaning and fulfillment that we generate. And so I get really worried when I come across people in my life who don't seem to be kind of creating any meaning. They're kind of just going through the motions of life. I even actually, I was having a conversation with my dad this morning about, he reads a paper every morning, and I don't read the news. I don't really check out the news. So I kind of just rely on him to give me any sort of valuable kind of information. And there was an article in today's paper that was all about, how to save so that by age 40 you can retire, right? And I was like, we were kind of talking about that, and I thought to myself when I was speaking to my dad about it, I said, wow, imagine living that life where you're just trying to get to age 40 so you can retire. All that says to me is that you really don't enjoy the work that you do. You're not creating meaning, and you're projecting meaning and actually finally getting to experience life if you can just make enough money to get to age 40 and not have to work again and can kind of say to your boss, hey, I'm out of here. See you later, and to me, that's a scary existence, to be focused on trying to retiring and saving every penny so that by age 40 you can finally just stop doing this meaningless work. And it kind of reminded me a big piece of why I do what I do, and I feel really grateful because it feels like a lifetime ago that I was living that 9-to-5 meaningless kind of live into the paycheck. Monday was a drag, Wednesday's halfway there, Friday finally, Saturday, yay, it's the weekend, Sunday, got to go back to work tomorrow. That kind of mentality and lifestyle that I think most of us have experienced and a lot of us are currently experiencing. And to me, that gets you in that mentality of, oh my God, I can't wait to retire, But where I want us to think about is, what a waste of life. What if you're a 20-year-old and you're focused on saving enough money and earning enough money so that by 40 you can retire? Then what? Then what are you going to do with your life? And to me, I love what I do so much that I couldn't picture life without it. And yes, it's what I do for a living, but it's what I do for a living right now. It's not just trying to generate money so that I can, in some far off distant future, I can finally live life. It's actually what fulfills me on the deepest level. And I've done what I do right now for so long without having any financial income. And I'm grateful that I actually create financial income to sustain and move me forward so that I can continue educating myself and being of more value. But I feed everything that I earn, into what I do because I love it so much. It's who I am. It creates so much meaning and fulfillment in my everyday moments and life that I couldn't imagine being without it. And I certainly am not thinking, oh, if I can save enough money till I'm 40 and then finally retire and not have to do this. I would much rather help people discover what that thing is that absolutely juices them, fulfills them in their own unique way so that they don't have to think about earning, doing something completely meaningless so that they can earn money and get to some far off distant future. I'm telling you right now, those people who live doing that stuff, just pushing the bare minimum just to get through, just to get their paycheck so that they can get to 40, and they picture and envision that they're going to be sitting on a beach, sipping a margarita or whatever, not have a worry in the world. Yeah, good on you. Do that for a week. Do that for 2 weeks. You're going to get seriously bored and you are going to be looking for, how do I generate meaning? How do I make my life matter? And that, until we tap into that, like there is no holiday, there is no rest. That is not actually what life is about. That's something to experience and enjoy, but life is truly about what meaning you are generating in your everyday moments. It's certainly not about trying to save a certain amount so that you can retire from the meaningless work that you do, that you're only doing to get money from, and sit on a beach and sip a margarita for a week and then feel bored. So I really hope that we can get out of that mentality. It's probably one of the major reasons I don't sit there and read the newspaper, because it's kind of constantly feeding that kind of mindset. How do we save more so we can retire early? No, how can we generate much more meaning and fulfillment and inspiration in our everyday lives, that over time we just get more and more energized and we're making a meaningful difference in this world by being all of who we are. That's the kind of article that would make me pick up a newspaper. But it definitely is a conversation starter, and it definitely reinforces to me why I and all of us out there need to tap into what absolutely creates meaning in our lives. And it is absolutely my mission to help each and every person who connects with me, to help them discover what your unique genius is, what your gift is, what juices you, what energizes you, what inspires you, what makes you want to leap out of bed in the morning and have to be dragged to bed in the evening because you're so immersed and excited and juiced about what you are doing in life, in your everyday, not just working for this money and this paycheck, but actually what you're doing in everyday moments. So I really, really hope that each and every one of you guys out there believes that is possible for you, and you're not getting trapped in that commonality and that group mentality of just having to do your job and make some money and finally retire so you can start living your life. That is definitely not what life is about. I'm 30 years old. I haven't worked in a corporate environment for at least 6 years now. And I feel so grateful for that. And there is no other way of living my life. I know that, and from the beginning of starting what I do, it wasn't easy, I'm telling you, and it's still a struggle. It's a lot more work when you run your own business and you do your own thing and you kind of create something out of nothing than going and sitting in an office where somebody else has created that and you can get your weekly certain paycheck. You do a lot more work doing what I'm doing, but you know what? You create a lot more meaning as well. Particularly if you've got zero meaning in your work that you're doing. But anyway, I'm going off track, but I really, really hope that today's message is kind of expanding your mind, beyond what you may think society thinks is possible for you. That's not it. as soon as you tap into what truly inspires you at the deepest levels, then you become unstoppable and you commit to it. This is the train of thought I lost. When I started what I was doing, it was seriously a struggle and I didn't know what was possible, but I believed it. And because I was aligning so fully with what mattered most to me, with my highest values, what deeply inspired me, I still have this mentality. It doesn't matter what challenges come up, I will make it happen. I don't care how long it takes, because I'm not working towards my 40th birthday to retire. This is my life. This is what I've chosen to dedicate my entire existence to. So I don't care. I've got an abundant mindset. It's a long-term mindset. And I know that because I've tapped into such inspiration, nothing will stop me from moving forward on this path. No matter what it takes, I will continue to push on forward, break through the challenges, use them as opportunities, and continue expanding my mindset, growing myself, and trying to be of maximum value to others. And that just doesn't we don't tap into that when we are working for money and little meaning. When we choose money over meaning, we might generate the money, but we have zero meaning. I would much rather all of us tap into and follow and commit to the meaning. And I'm telling you that the money will follow, because you're so committed to your craft that you become an expert. You become who people go to, and people are inspired by inspired people. So I really just want each and every one of you guys out there to believe what is possible for you. Don't get caught up in that group mentality, and realize that the quality of your life is directly correlated to the meaning that you generate in everyday moments. And that's just one aspect of looking at the work that you do in this world. You really need to look at that. That's just one avenue. And I'm not saying it's the only one. I'm not saying everybody needs to quit their 9 to 5 and give it up because it's got zero meaning. I think many people get a lot of meaning out of whatever work that they're doing that is working for somebody else. And not everybody should do what I do. Definitely not. We've got to find what your unique genius is. Tap into your inspiration. And there is, life just starts when you tap into that. You become an unstoppable, unshakable force for good who absolutely taps into meaning and fulfillment in your everyday life. And you don't have to wait to some far off distant future when you've saved up enough pennies to finally start living your life. Okay, it's all about meaning. So I definitely want to check in with you guys and see who's been able to join me. Definitely, if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. You guys give me so much juice, and you are absolutely the reason why I do what I do. So I couldn't be more grateful to you guys each and every day for showing up and joining me and checking out these messages and engaging with me. You are deeply appreciated, and I really hope you don't forget that. So I want to check in. So I've got Ram and Aaron and Hosen and Moises and Sam and Boy Hikanug. I'm guaranteed to stuff up somebody's name each and every day. I'm sure of it. And I'm so sorry. I always appreciate you guys being here. And Angie and Justin and Judy and Sean and Carolina, sorry, and Manpreet and Flavio and Sam. Purple earrings, cool. Thank you. And Manpreet, thank you for that kind compliment. And Editor, thank you so much for being here. And Bruno and Chris and Stephen and Chris, I am doing well. Hope you are as well. And Hilton and Sam, beautiful daddy you got. I do. My dad is absolutely awesome and amazing, and definitely have some interesting conversations in the mornings. I have to just brag a little bit about this because I feel very spoiled, but my dad actually cooks. Whenever I'm here at home, my dad actually cooks every single morning. Eggs for my mum and I, and we deliver it to her in bed. It's pretty special. I feel really grateful for my mum and dad. What would we do without our mums and dads? And Chris is here, and Kitamet, thank you. And Michelle, what kind of enlightened person doesn't keep up on the news? Ooh, love it. Bit of a question. So what I would say to you there, Michelle, I would challenge you to ask different peoples and different gurus and people that you really aspire to live the lives of. Ask them how they keep up with the everyday news. So when I talk about the news, I'm talking about the gossip news, the negativity, the stuff that just generates a whole bunch of worry in the world and doesn't move the needle forward. If you can't do something about it, if you're going to get caught up in the news and the constant negativity, then, definitely see whether that's supporting you. Is it just making you fearful of people around the world, or are you actually doing something about it with that information? And so I definitely keep up with current affairs that are important, the things that are happening in the world, but I don't feel called to waste my time on the 7 o'clock news that just reiterates the same stuff every day, and it's a bunch of negativity and it's not moving the needle forward. A lot of it can't be trusted, and definitely the newspapers are generating a lot of stuff that keeps people, it's just gossip. So I'm much more interested in following things like podcasts where they're interviewing, and talking about current affairs intelligently, and really up-leveling and really thinking big about how we can improve society and do great things in the world, not get caught up on the everyday mediocrity of, just current affair news, like the little bits and pieces full of gossip and full of negativity. I'd rather focus on intelligent conversations. And I find them definitely in a lot of podcasts that I listen to. Sam Harris Waking Up podcast. I'm really enjoying Russell Brand's podcast, Under the Skin, at the moment. Kind of getting addicted to that. I love Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan Experience, just different podcasts like that. That's how I keep up with current affairs. And I think they're much more intelligent. They're much more truthful. And you can get into some debate from different sides from people who actually dedicate their entire existence to studying this stuff and getting in and having an intelligent conversation that moves the needle forward, instead of just, like I said, boring stuff on the news that just repeats, recycles, creates gossip. It's small-minded stuff. So I hope that answers your question there, Michelle. And I've got Adrian and Jamie and Kabsu and Sean. And thank you so much for sharing, Jamie. You are super appreciated. Thank you. And Dan from the USA. I love it. And Aaron, our level of self-awareness allows one to remain present. In the present moment is where choices and meaning have its deepest and most profound impact on ourselves and those we love. Right here, right now. Namaste, Vanessa. Thank you, and namaste to you, Aaron. And I absolutely agree. I always appreciate your wisdom and your intelligence shared here, Aaron. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. And absolutely, self-awareness is absolutely foundational, because otherwise we end up living by default and we don't create meaning. I think it's Tony Robbins who says that it's not the brain's job to make you happy. That's your job. The brain keeps us kind of safe and secure, or to what it perceives, but it doesn't create meaning until we build our self-awareness and get intentional and directional about what matters most and tap into that inspiration. It takes work, but it's so worth it. So I love that, Aaron. Thank you so much. And Chris, absolutely thrive, don't survive. Boom. I absolutely love that. That's so awesome. And awesome to have you back here, Chris. I've missed having you here. And Anshul's here, and Aaron. Everyday little things matter. I think they always will. Life is such a journey and not a destination. Absolutely, Aaron. Exactly. Couldn't agree more. And so we tend to get caught up in that when we're not having that, that self-awareness, like you mentioned there, Aaron. The other Aaron, got a couple of awesome Aarons in here creating some wisdom in the group. But definitely, we lose sight of the fact that all we ever have is the present moment, and the present moment is always the journey. So, when we get caught up in thinking we'll have fulfillment when we reach a certain destination, if you really stop and think about it for a moment, it's kind of insane, isn't it? So definitely agree. Thanks for sharing that, Aaron. That's awesome. And Nikki's here. And Ben, you can work on yourself because you have financial freedom. It's easy to cultivate your passion if you can afford to. Whoa, do not agree with that at all, Ben. Absolutely. Okay, so I have started generating, finances for myself through what I love right now, but it wasn't like this. When I first began, I had nothing, and what I love about the world right now is that there is so much free content. Hopefully you guys get value from the video messages that I deliver to you guys each and every day for free. You just have to have the internet, you can jump on Facebook, and there are so many beautiful people across the globe sharing such wisdom. Just this month coming up, I've got 2 entire day events that I'm going to, and they're free. So one of those events is all about self-development. The other one is all about, upskilling myself as a teacher, as a speaker. And so they're both free events. Guaranteed they're going to try and sell me something at the end, but that could support me, and if I do have the money to go deeper on that level, great. But I'm saying, and think about all the books that we have as well. They're so cheap. You can go to the library and don't have to pay a cent. I used to go to secondhand bookshops all the time and find the most incredible books for a couple of dollars. And I've learned some of my greatest personal development lessons in books that I either hired from the library or I paid like a couple of dollars for, and so I definitely don't agree on that mentality that you have to be financially free to be able to work on yourself. There are so many different things you can do. I really, even, if there's people out there that you want to learn more from, see how you can add value to the work that they're doing. Offer some services for free in exchange for developing yourself. There's so many options out there, and it's not about it's not about resources, it's about your resourcefulness. And the sooner we break free from that mentality that we have to have finances to develop ourselves, the sooner we actually get to develop ourselves and generate the finances that we can end up feeding back into what we do, which is what I do right now. And, I'm by far, far, far away from, being financially free and independent and things like that, and to what that really entails and what that really means. But I definitely am on my way going there, and I know all of us definitely have that option to do so as well. So, but I always love you sharing your perspectives here, and you are so appreciated for being here, Ben. Thank you. And Jasmine and Jamie, loving that you're finding some truth here. And Chris, music is what keeps me awake at night. I love that. Awesome. I still want to hear much, much more of your music. I got caught up in one of your videos on Instagram. I was just like, I kept replaying it. It was so, so cool. You've got an awesome voice, and I loved it. It was really entertaining too. So keep doing what you're doing. You're awesome. And Shane's here and Lucy's here. Awesome. And Ben, you have looks. You can do what you want. Boom. Another one that I just want to totally dismantle. Look at the people around the world doing extraordinary things. You'll soon notice that beauty or looks or whatever is just one area of wealth. In all different areas of life, there are different modalities of wealth that you can use to your advantage. And that's just one. You've got it. There's so many different avenues. Look at your intelligence. Look at your different areas of life. Do you have wealth in your connections, in your relationships? Do you have wealth in your health? All of these different areas of life giving you opportunity to generate higher levels of tapping into what your wealth is and using it to move the needle forward. So those kind of mentalities of I got to be financially free, or they've got all the looks, or they've got all the intelligence, or they've got all the connections, that is so limiting yourself, and that's playing a small game. And what I would say to you is that we only get caught up in that when we have fears over ourselves being successful. And so I really would get you thinking about what are the fears that are keeping you stuck in those limiting beliefs. They're just limiting beliefs. It's all about perception. It was Henry Ford who says, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So, we've got to bust through those limiting beliefs. Ben, if you want a process that I utilize in my own life, I work with all my clients with, if you would like a little structure on that, I would be so happy to send it to you. So let me know, and I would love to email it over to you. Shoot me your email, give it a go. What it does is helps you to really identify those limiting beliefs, break through them, empower yourself, and move forward beyond them so that you can actually start growing yourself without the limitations. So let me know, Ben, and again, appreciate you being here. And I've got Sam. Love your perspective. It's not about money, retirement, and savings. Then start living and enjoying it later on. Absolutely. Break free of that mentality. That scares me that people are walking around. So many people are walking around with that mentality. Like I said, I don't think what I do is for everybody. I think we all have our unique thing that we want to discover and find. And maybe you do want to work for somebody else. That's fine. That's great. But generate meaning in your everyday life. It's not in some far off distant future. Like I said, all we ever have is the present moment. It's all about the journey, as you said, Aaron, and not the destination. We never get there. It's all what we're always on the journey to an inspiring destination, but we're always on the journey. So absolutely, and I'm grateful that was resonating with you, Sam. And Kylie's here, and Aaron teaching yoga. Absolutely, I love that you found what really pushes the needle forward for you and inspires you. It's so awesome. And Hassani's here. Awesome. And Aaron, your passion is very addictive. I always love it. I'm grateful to hear that, Aaron, because I can't stop doing it. So I can't stop with the enthusiasm. So thank you so much, Aaron. And Chris, exactly. It's not about hiding a share of money to ourselves so we can spend it all carefully just so we don't have to work. We should love what we do, that we never work, yet express and still get enough capital to thrive. Boom. Exactly. You've got to do what you love and love what you do, in the words of Dr. John D. Martini. It is so true. If you're not doing what you love, and you're not loving what you do, we've got to look at that, and it's all based on meaning and inspiration and what matters most to you as an individual. And ideally, when you tap into that, you'll be able to it taps into your creativity, and you start expanding your mindset, and you start working out ways that you could potentially generate an income through what you absolutely love to do and you're great at, So I don't ever want us to have those limitations. Think everything is possible, and it will be. And start moving the needle forward in your most inspired direction. I love that, Chris. Thanks for sharing. And Kenny's here. And Chris, I love what you do, Vanessa. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Chris. I so appreciate that. That's awesome. And Ram, life is not about living to create a comfort zone for the future. You just did it. Drop the mic, Ram. Absolutely. I love how you put that. Life is not about living to create a comfort zone for the future. Exactly. So awesome. And Jamantis is here, and Graham. I love that you got to catch me live. It's awesome. And Sam, to me, life is about being present, experiencing all there is, instead of being focused on retirement, living on purpose, and pursuing passion with joy and gratitude. Abso-freaking-lutely. You got it spot on. And like I said, I do not stop working, doing what I do, but it doesn't feel like that. I'm excited to continue to learn. I feel so grateful that my life is all about learning, developing myself, using myself as a guinea pig, growing, challenging myself, and utilizing that and all that I learn and experience, and trying to simplify that to help others fast track their success. To me, that is absolute fulfillment. And we're going to find, that's not for everybody, but for certain people it might be. And, when we can get you to tap into your unique state of inspiration and meaning and get you aligning fully with that, you start to really love life, and definitely experience all there is to be experienced in this moment, and not projecting out to some weird future where things will be finally meaningful just miraculously. It's just not going to happen. And Oh, awesome, Lucy. And Charlie's there. Hello to Charlie as well. Miss you guys. And Sadiq is here. Thank you. I'm loving that you're finding some inspiration here. And Jody and Jason and Sadiq, I completely agree with you. Thanks a lot for sharing your experience with us. Oh, thank you, Sadiq. I'm glad that what I've been sharing today is resonating with you, and I so appreciate you being here. And Jody, hi, and so true, no negativity. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole between positivity and negativity, because I'm just going to say this: everything is in balance. We need both sides. It's not about being all positive, but definitely we want to see things for the truth of what they are, and that's about seeing both sides, seeing that every positive has a negative, every negative has a positive. It's not one-sided, and when we get stuck in one-sidedness, it's what creates our limitations, and definitely keeps us from living a life from love and gratitude. So I'm not going down that rabbit hole though, but I so appreciate you, Jody. Thank you. And Wyan's here, and Jeannie, good morning to you, and Simona and Jamie and Marco and Ram. When we add meaning to each moment now, we are becoming future ready automatically. I love that. Absolutely. And you don't have to think that you're only going to be happy or fulfilled at some future date. If you're not creating that in your everyday life, this is all we have. So get focusing on creating the meaning. It's pivotal in creating a fulfilling life. Jamie, shine on. Thank you. And thanks for sending your love out to everybody there. Jamie, another Jamie. I love it. And the other Jamie's back. Be grounded, be present, heart-centered. Beautifully, beautifully put. And Bradley's here. And Chris, we have to be resourceful, not being rich. Absolutely. It's all about resourcefulness. You're so spot on. And Tracy's here. Oh, thank you for that kind compliment. I'm so grateful that you're finding inspiration here. And Aaron, oh, you're amazing. Don't ever stop. I couldn't ever stop. I'm too addicted to living, from my most inspired place. And I know that'll grow and evolve, but I love that, Aaron. Thank you so much. And Phil and Ray and Gabrielle. And, you sent me a PM. I will check it out. Thanks for letting me know. And Bufera and Ricardo and Damien and Sam sent you an email requesting roadmap of dismantling limiting beliefs. Awesome, Sam. I can't wait to share that with you. I'll definitely get it out to you. And Ibrahim, thanks for your motivational videos. Really, you open up my mind. Oh, I'm super touched, and I'm so grateful to hear that. Thank you so much for letting me know that, Ibrahim. Thank you. And Mashud and Frederick. And much love to you, Frederick and Ram. You may have all the money by 40. If you have not created meaning till you are 40, you may end up depressed. Meaning is what drives. It's the force that keeps us going, irrespective of the financial status. Absolutely. Money will not give you happiness if you're not making yourself happy, and so the way that we generate fulfillment, I don't like to talk about just happiness, because again, it's one-sided. It's an emotion. We can't have happiness without sadness. But what I do think is fulfillment, and fulfillment it comes from creating true meaning and tapping into what matters most to you as an individual and aligning fully with that. So absolutely, Ram. And John's here, and Jeannie, we appreciate you being live and sharing every day. You touch on so many subjects that help people to think about where they are on the journey of life. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeannie. And you know what, guys? I love doing this. I love getting to jump on, and I'm so grateful that you guys find value in this, because that's why I do it. And, you guys give me such a platform to speak about the stuff that matters most to me, and to create fulfillment and meaning in my life. So the feeling is mutual. I so appreciate you guys, and I definitely appreciate you, Jeannie. Thank you. And Jolene's here, and Sergio and Chris. It's not about being on the roller coaster. It's singing with family on the way. It's laughing and enjoying everything. Absolutely, Chris. I love that. So, so true. And Hassani, I appreciate you showing up and offering your insights. I learned so much from others' questions and comments as well. I appreciate what you shared, Ram. Great reminder to keep pushing that comfort zone in the present and on into the future. Absolutely. Thank you, Hass. And you are so appreciated. Thank you so much for showing up and contributing as you do, your questions, your wisdom. It's a beautiful thing, both here on these lives and definitely in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community as well. If you guys haven't joined the Inner Circle, there's a link up above, and definitely come and join us over in that group to continue the conversation. And Hassani, I appreciate the reminder to get back into podcasts too. I get so wrapped up in other sources of personal development, but podcasts are great for helping me continually expand my mind. Absolutely. I'm addicted, and I love podcasts because I can be getting ready and doing different things that are kind of mindless while I'm filling my mind with positivity, and it's all free, and it's like to have access to such depth of intelligent conversations. It's so inspiring to me. So I love that inspired you to get back onto the podcast house. And Rochelle, I so enjoy your company while I'm baking cinnamon buns. Thank you. That's awesome. Yum. I love cinnamon buns. And I love that you're listening in while you're doing something less meaningless, but I mean, cinnamon buns are pretty cool, pretty good. So thanks, Rochelle. And Gary's here as well. So guys, everybody just joining me, I really hope that you catch the recording and get a ton of value from today's message. As always, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's absolutely extraordinary. And I hope that today's message has got you expanding your mind, recognizing where you might have some limiting beliefs going on. And definitely, if you would like access, Ben, thank you so much for your comments today and inspiring me to share with you guys that limiting beliefs exercise. If it's of value to you, please let me know, shoot me a message, drop your email below or send me your email, or you can email me at vanessa@vanessajanepatrick.com, and I will be sure to send you over that free resource. It's super awesome, and it's helped me immensely break through my limiting beliefs and get to living an empowered life, and I continue to use that process anytime I get to that next level of limitation. So thank you, Sadiq. That's very kind of you. And Flavio, thank you for being here. I'm sending you guys all of my love. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.